Last time on The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, we obtained the ability to swim, and now we have access to the next dungeon. So we're gonna go do that, right? Oh no, of course not. Now that we can swim, we've gotta go collect stuff. Also, I really don't want to go to the next dungeon. So, we're going to do what for me was 40 minutes of side quest. For you, this is going to be about 20 minutes. I mean, you can tell from the little timer there. But anyway, we're actually going to start out with a cuckoo minigame because now that we have the ability to swim, this game is actually possible to complete. I mean, there's one more item that would actually make this a little easier, but honestly, we're not getting that till the end of the game, and really, swimming is all that's necessary. Because eventually there will be cuckoos on the other side of the river, and while these early ones there are excess cuckoos and you only need to collect a certain number of them, eventually there will just be like a set number of cuckoos. Like, you'll only have to find 2, but you kinda have to hunt around the town for them. And I believe they are in set positions, but at the same time, the first time, it's really not going to be very good, because you'll just be looking around randomly and you might not find them. Second time, it's just a matter of getting them there, which isn't always too bad, unless, of course, the gold cuckoos are involved, because, they're always annoying, aren't they? Because they just leap right out of your hands. The safety of your hands, might I add. And speaking of gold cuckoos, there are a lot of them here. At least they're close by, I'll give them that, but nonetheless I don't like dealing with them because they just run away constantly, like that guy did. Also, wow, this is a really long one, I guess. It kind of goes from building up the number of cuckoos and giving you less time at a time to having fewer cuckoos, but of course they are hidden, as I said before, like this one. Seriously, that guy is way out there, and yeah, if I remember correctly, I cut this one close and kind of only won because the cuckoo I first picked up decided to hang around here, so thankfully he complied. Oh yeah, and it goes without saying, but don't throw the cuckoos in the river, because if you do, well, you're probably not gonna win because you're not getting that cuckoo back. But that's actually it for the cuckoo minigame, and your reward is, of course, a piece of heart, because when isn't it a piece of hearts? And, of course, more rupees. I think you can play this minigame more for more rupees and maybe shells, but I don't really want to play it any more than I already have, you know? I've played it plenty, if you ask me. Anyway, since we're going in this direction, I'm sure you already know what we're going for. And it is, of course, the Swordsman newsletter, because why wouldn't it be? I need to read this next issue of this hot newsprint magazine, whatever it is. Oh, I seek out the strong all the time, so this is the issue for me. Oh, and yeah, I've seen Golden Monsters, and the rewards aren't that good. I have 907 rupees right now, so, not really in need of money. And also, this advice really isn't too useful, because it's describing those enemies we fought in the fire dungeon, which are really easy to take down with the shield anyway, and the Cane of Pocky is pretty good as well. So yeah, it's not that good advice, honestly. Oh, this one's pretty good, though. Swiftblade the First defeated a cow with his bare hands. In what way was it sad? Was it sad for the cow? Was it sad for Swiftblade? Or was it just sad in general? Because I don't know. For a ghost, taking down a cow is pretty good. Actually, no, there are probably better things you can do when you're a ghost, like fight anything else, such as the monsters that are roaming around. Though I do have to wonder why Swiftblade the First was all the way in Lawmon Ranch. I mean, we saw him in Castor Wild, so if that was supposed to be a hint of some sort, well, obviously it can't be a hint, because that's not the position of Swiftblade the First at all. Ah well, pointless thing right here, I'm gonna go to an inn real quick. Gonna take the most expensive room to show you that really doesn't do anything. Because we stay, and despite the fact that there are 2 beds, Eslo sleeps in the same bed as we do. I don't know, maybe he's like a stuffed animal or something, we need to put our arms around him. He's our comfort pillow, and I don't know why Eslo is in the same bed as us. You know, I wouldn't think that would be very comfortable for a hat, but whatever. Whatever he needs to do to sleep. Wait, he's a hat. Why does he need to sleep? Anyway, time for being a Minish. Dog doesn't have Kinstone Fusion, but that's not too terribly important, because I actually want to go over to the bakery. There's really nothing important here, but hey, we might as well explore, right? Don't get hit by this steam because it hurts, as I showed off there. On purpose, of course. That was definitely on purpose. I meant to show off the fact that you can be hurt by steam. You might have thought that it was just there for decoration, but no, it's not, and I'd just like to point out that this is kind of absolutely disgusting. Like, there are cookies and bread everywhere up here. Like, I know the Minish have to eat too, and that's fine, but they're taking all this food up to the rafters, and I doubt they're eating it all in one meal. So, there is stale bread and cookies, and also probably some cheese that's going bad as well. And I don't even want to know what that stuff is. I don't know. I'd prefer not to. Yeah, you love bread, and yet you will do something as heinous as this to it. In fact, I don't even want to deal with you people. Bye. Taking the quick way out. Alright, now that we're done with that, there's yet more that we can explore. So let's climb up this here vine, and, oh look, a little flower patch over by the inn. Well, it's straight to the point. Once we enter here, we just get a piece of heart. Why not, right? And I believe, yep, new heart container. And we have 2 rows of hearts now. So, yep, we are on our 2nd row, meaning there are only 9 more pieces of heart left? Yeah, 9. So yeah, we're actually fairly close to having the hearts, all the hearts, because there are a few more dungeons and actually a fair amount of heart pieces left, so, what am I even talking about? There's still a fair amount to do, but still, now that we're on the 2nd row, it's looking pretty good. Though to be fair, I would like another heart piece, because that one heart container all by its lonesome, yeah, it's looking a bit awkward there. It looks like it needs a friend. But we're a 1/4 of the way there, so that's good. So we're going to be exploring. If you couldn't tell already, this is just going to be entirely an exploration episode. But on the bright side, we can talk to Percy, and this time we can actually fuse with him. Because we have got plenty of red kinstones. We have an excess of red kinstones. Like, we damn near have enough to last us for the rest of the game. That's how many kinstones we have. I really don't want any more kinstones. But that actually had to do with Percy's quest, because that little branch, fallen tree, whatever it happens to be, that was actually blocking the road to Percy's house, so we'll give him a little more time to move in, and then we'll see how he is later. For the time being, we're just going to clean up here, because we've got a cave. This one isn't really terribly interesting, just a few enemies, no Goron walls, and a fairy fountain. The other one, on the other hand, which I'm pretty sure that, yeah, that was actually one we unlocked with the kinstones, isn't it? I'm pretty damn sure it is, because it didn't have that shore by it before, so you couldn't access it. And yet, there's actually nothing interesting over there. And yet, over here, we actually have a Goron wall. So yeah, that's kind of terrible. Fairy fountains aren't a very good reward for Kinstone Fusions, because there are already plenty of fairy fountains. Like, there's one fairly close to Doylon's house, and also, if you saw back there, sometimes when you ram a tree, a fairy will come out anyway, so that's another easy way to get a fairy. There's pretty much always a fairy at the end of a dungeon, so you can go get a fairy like that. So yeah, it's really kind of pointless. Meanwhile, we've finally got a 4th Goron for this party. You know, maybe you should mix up your classes a bit. I mean, 4 Gorons will be great, but when it comes to fighting mages and, you know, just buying armor in general, you guys are going to be at a real disadvantage. Or maybe they're monks. In which case, you guys are probably screwed, because those guys have terrible defense. Ah well, we'll worry about them later. For now, we can talk to yet another one of Tingle's brothers, and hopefully we can fuse with him. And we can! Thank goodness! Yep, we fused with Knuckle. Unlike Tingle, he don't chuckle. He'd rather fuse his kinstones. So another one of those mysterious trees unlocked. Yet again, we'll see what that's about later. I'm not quite sure Tingle would be proud. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're the brother that's not even on Tingle's Island, and you just have to go through a quest to actually find him. Like, there are hidden Tingle statues in the dungeons, and in the HD version it's impossible to find them without a guide, basically. Because that was actually a Tingle Tuner quest in the original Wind Waker. And I can't fuse with this forest Minish, so... sigh. But yeah. That was certainly an interesting quest, and I actually learned about it later on in the game, so I had to revisit like 2 or 3 dungeons, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So with that stuff out of the way, and not much else to do in Western Woods, why don't we go check up on Percy? After all, he can go back to his house, so, yeah, let's see how he's moving in. He must have a reward for us, right? Oh, what you standing outside freaking out for? You, itching or something? Got ticks? Oh, geez, that is, what? I hope you don't want me to take care of this, because I'm in the same boat as you, dude. Well, not the exact same boat, because this isn't my house, but, yeah, that's, I guess I'll fuse Kinstones with you, maybe that'll help. Except it won't, because I don't have the piece, and excuse me, but green Kinstone pieces are hard to come by. Hey, lady, you're kinda creepy. Well, I can't turn on the lights, but you're still creepy. That doesn't change that fact. Anyway, Percy, you're on your own for now. I'll come back later if I find any way to fix that, but yeah... I mean, I guess we could talk to that person and tell them that the house does belong to somebody else, and it's kind of weird that you just moved in there while he was gone, but yeah, we're not going to be doing that. Instead, I think we're going to be moving back to Minish Woods. It's been a fair amount of time since we went there, and if you'll remember, there is a fair amount of water there. Especially shallow water, which prevents us from getting to areas like that over there. Now if you check there, I thought he had a Kinstone Fusion, but I don't think he does, actually. Oh! How did I even make that mistake? Anyway... this area is actually kinda difficult. I mean, not overly so. You might notice, but I'm kind of impatient here. Which really isn't good. You need to take this section slowly. I don't even know how I messed that one up, actually. I messed this one up a lot, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Usually my rule of thumb when recording is, don't make any stupid mistakes, and... you know, sometimes I'm very lenient about this, like here, where I fall off the ledge multiple times, and other times it leads me to playing the entirety of Zelda 1 without getting hits. By the way, that wasn't fun at all, and it's going to be like a million years before I even use that footage. I'm kind of weird like that. I'm stubborn about games I don't really like all that much, but games I do like, oh boy, I'm really lenient about this. Anyway, it's been a really long time since we've actually been back at Minish Village, and now that we have the ability to swim, there's actually an area over here which has piqued my interest before. So, remember, we were able to get a piece of heart over here, but it was right by a dock, and, well, there's a whole lot of water here, so let's go for a swim and, oh, it's a house. What wonders could possibly be inside here, I wonder? What do you gotta say? Okay, so, there's nothing over here? There's an entire house, all the way over here, and you get absolutely nothing for going over there. I'm gonna guess that guy has some sort of Kinstone Fusion. He's probably a random fuser, he might be a shared fuser, but he's also an asshole because, seriously, you wait for like half the game wondering what could possibly be over there, and it turns out it is literally nothing. And yes, I am calling that Minish literally nothing. Anyway, I think you can actually start the Picolite side quest at this point. I didn't actually check because I keep forgetting it exists, but, I'm pretty sure I do cover that quest, I just don't do it now or probably anytime soon, but I'm pretty sure you can do it now. Just talk to the guy in the Peril house and he will start asking you for stuff to bring to him. As for this guy, he asked for Kinstone Pieces. This was one I didn't really need. I was hoping he'd sell me a green Kinstone Piece, but hey, at least I got rid of some money. But I can't fuse with him anyway, so... oh boy, it sure was worthwhile coming out here. And I'm gonna cut his grass, but of course there won't be anything here. I mean, if there are any Kinstone Pieces to fuse, he probably would have fused them already. You know, just cheating and fusing his own Kinstone, which is probably against the rules, just if I had to guess. Blue Kinstone Piece, fairy, and a wall I can dig up. Oh, and more likes. And that guy was in a very tricky place, because you'd think you've taken care of all of them, but nope, one last like. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't think it's actually possible to come here as a Minish just yet, because there are some blades of grass in the way. But we're gonna go over to this area, because... I think there's some stuff... No, I don't think there is. I think I'm thinking the other side of Lake Hylia. And I'm not falling for you, like. So yes, we do actually have a fair amount of stuff to do on this side of Lake Hylia. Like, this is actually how you get to this part of Minish Woods. But, if the fast-forwarding is any indication, there's really nothing worthwhile for coming all the way out here, because it's yet another red Kinstone Piece. Yeah, remember earlier how I said we probably have enough of those to last until the end of the game? Believe me, I'm pretty sure I was actually more or less pretty accurate with that. Ah well, that stuff's done, and since we don't have to go back to Hager's cabin and get suplexed, we're just gonna turn back into normal Doylon. So we're actually pretty close to the next dungeon, but there's still quite a bit of stuff to do on this side of the lake now that we can swim, like pick up this easy-to-obtain piece of hearts. Oh wow, and we're already at 3. To think, at the beginning of this episode, we had just collected our 4th, and in fact, I believe we'll be getting another 4th piece of heart right here. So yeah, 2 heart containers completed in this episode, because since this definitely isn't a fairy fountain, it could only be one other thing. I think there might be a shortcut over there, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we should just get in here, because this is yet another Swiftblade Dojo. So, this guy has a skill that, to be honest, really isn't that useful. Dangerous technique for desperate times. This is similar to an ability that actually started at the beginning of the series, the Sword Beam, except it's kind of an inverse of that. See, normally to use the Sword Beam you have to be at full health. This one, however, you have to be at 1 heart. Here I believe he'll actually take you down to 1/4 of a heart, but I'm pretty sure it's once you're at your last heart. You don't have to be that close to death. Just so close to death that the Sword Beam probably won't help you that much anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sword Beam, really good ability. But I'd prefer to not be almost dead to use it. So yeah, you're never actually going to see this ability used. Of course, there might be a bit more of a useful ability somewhere else that's a bit closer to the normal Sword Beam. Possibly, maybe. Anyway though, that piece of heart is a lot more useful. So with that done, we unlock that shortcut, and there's that heart piece I was thinking of. That heart piece is... that's a huge dick move, because I'm sorry, it looks like you should be able to access that one, but no, it's still going to be a little while more before we can actually get that heart piece, so... yeah, it's just going to stand there taunting us for a while. What do you have to say for yourself? That was a pretty good impression, considering you used a completely different voice clip. Anyway, this Minish did mention a bean, so of course this Kinstone will activate it, but this area probably doesn't look familiar. This is a fairly hard bean to find, and I don't think we'll be finding it for a little while. Actually, if I'm correct, it's actually in that cave to the back, the entrance to the cave that leads to that bean. I don't remember off the top of my head, though. But yeah, we're going to need another item to get that, and also that heart piece that I mentioned before and really do not like. And here's yet another hidden cave, and again, I'm pretty sure the reward here is not worth it at all. If I had to guess, it's probably yet another red Kinstone piece. See, I'll bet you thought I was just making things up at the start of this game when I was saying, oh, green Kinstone pieces are so hard to come by, and then I got a million of them. But now look, I was right, another red Kinstone piece. We have 1,000 of those things, and we keep getting even more. Meanwhile, I keep running out of green Kinstone pieces, which is really, really frustrating. I would actually think that by this point, a green Kinstone is actually a better reward than a red Kinstone piece. Oy. But there's not actually too much more for us to do around Lake Hylia. In fact, the only place we really haven't explored just yet is that cave, and to be honest, does that look like a very large cave? If you said no, you'd be correct. Because this thing's tiny, and there are no Goron wall spots, and all we get for this is 50 rupees. But there's no entrance to that little top bit of this island either, so that'll remain mysterious for a while. But we're actually done exploring for the time being. Next time on The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, we enter the next dungeon. Oh boy, I am not looking forward to this one, no siree.